Okay, I'm gonna do a quick video on kind of like how I found a problem, what I'm gonna do to fix it, and then this is gonna be in Fusion 360 this time. Um, and I'm just gonna make sure my audio's on. So the problem I have is the shower soap rests directly on a flat edge, causing water to pool beneath it. This leads to a soggy, degraded soap, reduces the lifespan of the soap, and messy residue buildup. The lack of drainage and elevation prevents proper drying and contributes to hygiene and maintenance issues. So you have something like this where the soap is sitting flat. Let's pull that up a little bit. So you have the soap sitting just straight on a shower edge, and what I want to do is make something like this where it has ribs and it drains out the bottom. So I'm going to show you how to make something like this. And the solution is design and 3D print a compact elevated soap holder that promotes drainage and airflow. The holder will feature a raised platform with slotted or ribbed surfaces to lift the soap off the edge, allowing water to escape through integrated channels or holes. So then you have the measurements, which is about 2 inches by 4 inches. So I'm just going to pop into Fusion and make something quick and show you how I do this. I'm going to start a sketch on this bottom plane, and then go to rectangle, center rectangle, grab the center point, and what I have is a soap bar that is 2 inches, and I'm going to hit tab, and you can see this is in millimeters, but if you just type in 4 inch, it'll come up. So that's about the size of my soap bar, and it's going to have rounded corners, but I'm just going to leave that right there. So what I'm going to want to do is, I have chain selection on, I hit offset. I want to leave room for the soap bar, so let's leave 0.25 inches maybe, and flip sides. So we'll leave that. That'll be the extra area for the soap to sit in. And then I'm going to change these maybe to construction lines. So this is going to be the soap inside the soap holder, and I'm also going to offset because I want a little edge. So I'm going to go 0.125 inches and flip that again to the outside. So that's going to be the raised edge. So this soap holder, let's take this whole thing, and I'm actually going to extrude down because I want to keep that top face. But let's go down ½ inch, and then again we're going to go, let's just put a negative sign in front of it, it'll go down like that. And then I'm seeing some things I want to change, so let's hit OK. I'm going to go back into my sketch and edit sketch. I want to modify, extend this line and this line down here. Let's finish sketch. So now I have this. What I want to do is kind of sink this and this down a little bit, something like that, so it'll sit in, but I want ribs on there. So I'm going to try and think of how to go about this. So let's actually get rid of this, and we're going to go back here and offset this edge in -0.125. But something's not working. Offset this edge -0.125 inches, maybe? That's what it was. Now I'm going to go back out and modify, extend this line and this line, and I can probably delete this one. So what I want to do is take this and pull it down so you can go here. That's -12.7, so that's a ½ inch. So then let's do pull, I don't know if I want to have it all the way down. What I'm going to do in here is actually go to create rectangular pattern and grab this single line right here, and let's space it every 0.25 inches and flip the direction by just putting a negative in front of it. And for my quantity I have 3, so I'm going to do 15 that spacing or extent, so I'm going to go spacing, go negative 0.125 inches. Let's see what else we can do. We need maybe 30, 35, 36. Now it looks like it's about even. So let's hit OK on this, and we're going to just select every other one. Click all the way down the line. There is something else I might have to change about this. Now I'm off on one. I think I can deal with that for now. Yeah, so let's just for now, for the example, let's pull it down to here and then add 2 millimeters. So now we have this. What I want to do is maybe take this end and pull that in, divide that by 2 because that's the size of it. So now we have this, and let's make sure our soap bar still fits. So we're going to go here, that's 4 point, let's drag this out a bit, 4.625, so it'll still fit in there. And then this one is 2.75, so it'll still fit in there too. Then I'm going to go to modify chamfer and grab this edge right here. And let's see if we could do, we're going to inspect this. So we've got a line that is 2.625. And we've got a line here that is 0.421. So I'm just going to screenshot that so I can reference it later. So I'm going to zoom into that. And then what I'm going to do is close, go to modify chamfer. I'm going to select all these edges. Really what I could be doing, let's go like that, and do 2 distance. So for the distance up, we're going to have 0.421 inches, 0.421 inches, and actually just for now let's do 5 millimeters, so that's up. And then out we'll do 12 millimeters. So you can see this chamfer coming in here a little bit. So now we're going to go back. We know that 5 is this. So we're going to do 0.421 inches. And then the other direction is 2.625. 2.625 inches. Go here. So now we have a drainage that all this is going to run down. And then if we want to go back, what we could do is, if we want to finish this off a little bit more, maybe you want this to be flush right there so it just comes off at a razor edge. And then you can do something like take this and offset these lines 0.25 inches, divided by 2, that's going to make it 0.125, and we can modify extend. Now that doesn't have lines, so what we're going to have to do is project that geometry, and then we're going to have to modify extend. Okay, so that's not going to work, so Control Z out of that projected geometry, grab a corner rectangle, just do that, modify, extend this line here and here, because we don't want it to come up over here, but what we're going to do is make an edge. So we're going to click this, go up to here, and then add, I don't know, 3 millimeters. Oh, so we're going to want to subtract 3 millimeters. That's going to make a little bit of an edge. And then let's just say we want to round this a tiny bit. So let's click those edges and do 4 millimeters maybe. And if you just want to finish it off, we could probably do all of these. Actually, before we do that, let's keep these unselected. Just do these edges. Again, what I could be doing to make this quicker is highlight all that, deselect that line. Let's make these a 3 millimeter curve, and then I'll go in here and change these to maybe 2 millimeters. And I kind of want to do these outside edges too, so I'm going to round this and that 1.5 millimeters maybe. So now you've got kind of a more finished looking piece. And I wonder, I mean, you can just play around and see what it would look like if you did the lines like this, say 1 millimeter, a more finished look there. I might do that. So let's do, could do this all the way around too. Let's see what that looks like. Let's do 1.5 millimeters, and then we'll go and do all of these. It's going to take some time to click all the way through here. And that one. Let's do 1. I kind of like how that is right there. So I'll probably keep that. And then I'm going to go back to this one and hit edit. And I only want this to be 0.5 millimeters maybe. Do this top edge. That goes all the way around. So make sure it includes that straight line right there. We'll do that at 1 millimeter as well. And then if you want to see what it looks like, you can go to visual style and just do shaded. So that's what the part's going to look like. And then you could even go to your render area. You can see it's kind of difficult to see, so I'm going to do is set up physical material. I'm going to go to plastic and just take some ABS. It doesn't have to be perfect, but what we're going to do in here is edit that, go to advanced, appearance, and then you can change like the Pantone color and just select through here. So you want one of these, have it like that, or you can do an image, edit color, go in here and get a more exact color. So you want kind of like a seafoam green. Okay, and then you're going to close out of this and render that. You can have it from excellent up to final, and I might have some reflection issues. That's kind of a tough color to do anyway, so it's going to take a minute. Let's see what happens. I'm going to stop the render here because I think that there's just going to be a problem with that color. So let's go to physical material, let's end that render, and go into here and hit edit, advanced, appearance, reflection or reflectance, roughness. We'll pull that up a little bit and hit OK. Let's try that again. So it's still kind of having a hard time with that color. I also have a lot of memory I'm using on my computer right now. But that's going to be how you render it. And then you can see what color it's going to be. This is okay to see right now too. But I can go back to the design space and hit File, 3D Print. It's already linked up to my bamboo, so I'm just going to select my object and hit OK. So hopefully I hit that. I can't remember if I X'd out or not. So File, 3D Print, click that part and just hit OK, and your bamboo is going to open up. So now I've got my Bamboo Labs open. And I'm just going to print this part. So what I am going to do is we can go to Slice Plate. And I know already I've got a low layer height, which I normally use, but let's go to line type. You can see this is going to take 4.5 hours. It's going to cost me $1.15. It's going to use about 46 grams of filament. But if you go onto the inside, you can see this internal structure here. The one thing I am going to want to do is go to strength and increase my walls to maybe 4. And that's going to change how many walls are on the outer edge. So you see now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, that orange one, and then those 3 yellow ones are the walls. And it's going to make these solid, which I guess is okay. So this is 1, 2, 3, and then that 4th is that fill line, that gap infill. I'm fine with the infill being 15%. I usually make it gyroid even though it takes a little bit longer, so you can mess with stuff. You'll see that grid will take significantly less time. So yeah, it takes about half an hour off. I'm down to $1.44. But again, I'm going to go back to gyroid just because it's usually the strongest. I've got 4 walls to kind of prevent any leaks or any water from getting inside. I've got a low layer height, so that's going to kind of fix these stair steps. But what you can also do is this variable layer height, and I haven't messed with it too much, but that can fix, let's see, back to here, can fix some of your layer height stuff. And again, I haven't mixed with that much, so I'm going to Control Z out of that. I don't think I've messed with anything anyway. Prepare, reset. Let's see, that's going to fix those outer lines, and that smooth radius is okay. So that's just going to fix the radius. That's not really going to help my stair stepping. I guess that would be part ironing, but that's kind of how you make that part. We'll go back into preview. I'm at 4 hours and 7 minutes. So my inside looks like I still have 4 lines. Now I'm just going to go hit print plate, make sure my PLA is on. I am not going to do a bed leveling because I just did that off frame. I don't need a time lapse, and flow calibration is just these lines down here to make sure the nozzle is actually extruding something, and then checks the speed. So don't really need that either. I'm going to check over here, make sure my build plate's clear, and send that through to the printer. And then hopefully in 4 hours I will have a soap holder that I can go put into my shower and sit right there. And another thing you could do that I think is kind of interesting is you can screenshot something like this. I'd probably put the visual style and shaded with edges only. So you can grab this right here, and then I'm going to pause for a second, but I'm going to show you what we can do. Okay, so if you hear something starting, it's my printer in the background. But what you can do is go into something like Copilot and take this right here and say this is a picture of my soap holder. I don't even care about the misspellings. To render this in my shower, which I will give a picture of next. So I'm going to go here, not there, let's go. Okay, so I went here and just added the image of my shower and put put my soap holder in this corner as a product rendering and put a bar of soap on top. Let's see if this works. Okay, so now it's finishing. So hopefully my starting the record didn't pause it or something, but you can tell that it took this picture and it's slowly rendering the soap bar holder in here. Now it looks like it's going to be a little bit off the edge, and that's something else I should have measured, is this corner, but assuming that a normal bar of soap fits on there. Sorry, you can probably hear my printer starting up. Okay, so that, yeah, let's do a CAD overlay. So let's see if this works. It looks like just because it had shower in it, it might have flagged it for safety concerns or something. So I'm going to do this, but this is kind of how I incorporate AI for like product rendering and stuff like that into some of the things I make. That is how you make a soap bar holder. Feel free to mess around. You can also fillet these small corners too. Do like 1 millimeter. That's going to pull them back a little bit, so you can maybe have some runoff and drop down here instead of flowing all the way out. So you can mess with this model a little bit and see what's happening around the corners that you want to round, and then hopefully this helps you out make some simple products and see that Fusion is not very very difficult and pretty easy for 3D printing. Good free software that you can download and just kind of mess around with your ideas.